You are listening to me talking to myself. Welcome to the podcast where I share useful tools to create more space, more freedom, inner peace, connection, and life on purpose. I want us to dream big, to believe in our highest capability and our highest capacity in ourselves. So we go out and set big goals for ourselves. I want us to think outside the box and explore what truly is possible in our life. In episode 17, I talk about strategic byproducts as the reason behind setting goals. So many of us think small, including me. We think in terms of what is possible, what is realistic. And when we think about what's possible and what is real, we create futures based on our past and what we can already do or what we have done before. What is part of our reality already? We create futures that are possible, and the way that we determine what is possible is by what we have already done. In this way, some of us stop creating, stop believing beyond their current capacity, and therefore stop growing. We must have unrealistic visions and set impossible goals. When we declare a goal as unrealistic, we expand the way our brain is thinking, and that is the mental work that we want to do. The reason for setting a big goal is not so we can achieve it easily and feel great about ourselves. That is not the point. Big goals we are not going to achieve very easily, and that is the point of them. So when we set a big goal, the goal of setting a big goal, the reason why we set a big goal is so we can practice believing. We will open up and expand our thinking and explore our possibilities in new creative ways. If we only set goals we know we will achieve, it's because we already know how to do them, which means we do not have to think beyond our current capacity, which doesn't help us grow, which doesn't help us evolve. The goal behind big unrealistic goals is so we can think bigger and we can expand our mind. Another reason for having unrealistic visions and setting big goals is it requires us to practice believing in ourselves, practice believing in something that isn't real yet, practice using our mind to create emotion based on our future and not on our past. Creating our life from future, from our imagination, from what could be possible for us is an exciting and fun life. And if we are only looking to our past or to our present to define what we are capable of, we will not have to practice believing in ourselves because we already know what we already know. Practicing believing in ourselves beyond our current self is an amazing skill. Once we get great at it, we can just keep evolving and growing beyond what we can imagine. Another reason for setting big unrealistic goals is it will require us to be creative, to think in unrealistic ways and question the how. So if we only have one way for how we are going to get somewhere, we only have one way of getting to that place, and if that how doesn't work, we are going to quit. And so when people set goals only when they know how they will achieve them, they usually do not achieve them. Because usually we need to try multiple ways to create a new result in our life. We need to take action, fail, and take action again. And we are creating that how in the process. Every great thing that has ever been invented, that has ever been done, nobody knew how to do it. It's a process of trying and failing and trying again until we get to the solution, to the how. Big goals make us think bigger. They make us practice believing, and they encourage us to be more creative and open-minded about the how. The only way we truly fail is if we quit. And we will quit if there's only one how to do something. Because if that one how does not work, then we will quit. So the process is we set big goals. We commit to taking massive action towards them no matter what. We expand our mind and our thinking and believing, and we start exploring the ways of getting there with open and creative mind. And through that process, we grow and we evolve. We find capacities within us that we didn't even know that we had. That is the point of having unrealistic visions and impossible goals. Important is to not use that big goal against ourselves. Big goals are there to serve us, not for us to feel bad about ourselves if we do not achieve them. Unrealistic and impossible goals are there for us to stretch our minds towards what could be possible and could be part of our reality. When we have that goal in front of us, we always know what ultimately we are trying to create for ourselves. And it gives us that direction, that motivation. And what's beautiful about it is, if we continue to believe in that goal all year, if it's a goal for this year, we get to enjoy the emotion of that belief the whole year. The excitement, the confidence that comes from already being a person that has achieved this goal in our mind. We will not always hit that goal in the time frame that we would like to. So what? Who cares actually? The goal of setting goals, setting big goals, is not about hitting the goal. It's about that possibility to get there. It's about growing and moving towards. It's about becoming that version that could achieve that goal. We want to use our goal to serve us. It provides our brain direction. It gives us something to focus on. It does not become a weapon that we use against ourselves. We never want to use our goal against ourselves, to beat ourselves up because we didn't accomplish anything. And then we give up. We also never want to use that goal to put pressure on ourselves, to make ourselves sacrifice our values, our integrity, and our health. We also do not want to change our goal just so we do not feel pressure. It's just good to remind ourselves that a goal does not cause any pressure. It's our thoughts about that goal. The goal is there to make us feel great, to make us feel excited, to make us think bigger, to make us evolve. So, do not change that goal. Change your thoughts around that goal, ask useful questions, get creative. Let's see what we are capable of. Let's see what we can do. Let's see where are our limitations, and let's figure out which ones are mental and which ones are real. And the ones that are real, how can I use my mental energy to overcome them? It is never about the goal. It is about who will I need to become? What will I have to overcome? What insecurities am I going to have to work through? What obstacles will I need to overcome? And what skills will I need to gain to become that person who is capable of achieving that goal? Think about your goal. What is your goal that you have for this year? Pick one that matters to you most and that sounds impossible and unachievable. When you think about it, how do you feel? Let your brain tell you it's impossible. And we already know that. This goal is impossible. It's not realistic, and this is where the fun is. So we don't take it seriously when the brain tells us that it's not possible, because we know that already. So we can skip that part of conversation and move on towards that vision. And let the brain catch up with who we are becoming. It is a practice of believing in the goal, of exploring the possibilities and impossibilities. How do we know if we don't believe in that goal? Because our actions do not match. When we really believe in something, our actions show it. We show up in a different way. We talk in a different way. Notice what is fueling the actions. Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it worry? Or is it confidence and determination and excitement? So how do we take action on our unrealistic goal? How do we have an impossible goal and live from that future and believe from that future and then also take action today? We want to start identifying with ourselves from our future. We want to start practicing believing in that goal. We really want to generate the vision and the excitement and the emotion that comes from thinking in a way that is beyond our current capacity. Thinking in terms of impossibility, so we can create a new, a bigger, a different reality for ourselves. What is impossible now will be possible later. What is unrealistic now will be realistic later. And this really expands our vision and requires us to think in a bigger way. And we always want to be asking our brains to think in a bigger way, visualizing a bigger future and taking action now. So how do we do that? If I want to be 40 pounds lighter in a year, I won't be able to do it today, unless I cut off a limb in order to try and achieve that goal today. So even though we are identifying with ourselves 40 pounds lighter, and we are living from that place, and we are thinking from that place, and we are believing from that place, today we do what we can do today. A small step that will bring us there. What do I eat today? How do I train today? When do I go to bed, and how long do I sleep today? And plan ahead of time my day tomorrow. So how do we bridge that gap between this impossible goal we have for ourselves and our reality right now? If I have a money goal and I want to make 100K this year, while currently making 10K, what are the steps of getting there? So how do we focus in the here and now to generate that impossible goal for ourselves? All impossible goals are created on a pile of failures. And we have to set each day up with the willingness to fail. Willingness to fail not in the taking of the action, but in the result that we want to create. We want to take that massive action I talked about in the last episode and be willing to not see the result that we expect until we do. We want to continue to take action. We want to continue to believe in that impossible goal and fail until we get there. Are you willing to keep taking action? With the tools you have today, taking many different action steps consistently, failing, adjusting, and trying again. And so it's important that we bring our goal down based on what we can do today, starting with the minimum baseline I talked about in the episode 8. When we try and want to get the result immediately, we are missing the point. If we set an unrealistic goal and we commit to believing in that goal even though it's impossible, and we release the wish of having to know the exact how, then we can start taking action. Taking the next action based on where we are today. If we are taking action because we need evidence in order to believe that we will achieve our goal, then we're missing the point too, because we will give up if there is no evidence. First, set that big goal. Second, come back to today and start taking action that makes sense based on what you did yesterday, that is reflecting on what is possible for you today. And then you keep building that momentum from there. It is very easy to get confused, to set a big goal for yourself and then expect the goal to start manifesting, to start creating evidence from the first minute, which might not happen. And this is what we practice. We practice believing. And if we don't see the results right away, we shift back to our belief and take the next action from there. We need to anticipate that in the beginning we will not believe hard enough yet, as we won't have any big results yet. So we do not want to sacrifice the goal because of the lack of evidence that it will work. We do not want to set ourselves up for failure in the beginning, so we stop taking action. So we basically fail ahead of time if we give up. How do we know where we are in the process and if we are still moving towards our unrealistic goal? The action that you are taking now will move you forward even if your results are not there. If you're showing up for yourself and exercising every day, if you eat what you said you would eat, if you listen, if you pay attention and make adjustments, you are moving forward. Even if you are not getting the results you want yet, you are taking action towards your goal. And even though you are not seeing the results yet, you are still moving forward. You are failing forward. You might need to change your approach, but you keep taking action based on what's present in your life today. Keep trying different actions and different hows. The goal should be unrealistic and impossible. The action today towards that goal should be realistic and possible. So think about your impossible goal and ask yourself the question: are you continuously taking massive action towards the goal that you have set for yourself? And if you are not, maybe you have confused that unrealistic goal with unrealistic daily steps. Those have to be things that you could do and actions you can take today, so you can move forward. Just because your goal out there in the future is impossible does not mean that your actions today are too. If my impossible goal for this year is to be able to do a one-arm handstand, my daily steps would be 1 hour of daily training, conditioning and strengthening and balancing different parts, kicking up, falling down, and trying again. And maybe the next best step is having a rest day, if it is beneficial for the process. Maybe it's slowing down, so you can speed up. Maybe it is healing an injury first, which might seem like a step backward, but will ultimately bring you closer to the end goal. The action that I'm taking today isn't impossible. Will I get the result that I ultimately want today that will prove that I will achieve that goal? Maybe not. But I can study my fails, adjust, and try again tomorrow. I'm still moving forward, one step at a time. And I still keep believing in that end goal throughout the process. If we just keep taking our next best action, the next thing that we know how to do, all of those little steps are what will lead to the ultimate big step. Think big and act small. Do not immobilize yourself by setting impossible daily goals. What is the next logical step based on what you did yesterday? Continuously taking the next best action, and eventually it will create the results we want. There are people who sit around and complain and make excuses. And there are people that will light their own fire and create big things in their life. Thank you for being curious. If you enjoyed listening, rate, review, subscribe, share, and join the conversation. Do not miss out on yourself, your power, and what is possible for you.